Hi everyone, this is Malayan and I am back with another vlog. This is for Doujinfes at the Tampines Safra. It took place on the 20th to the 21st of September 2025. Yeah, I want to join! So this is actually the second time I am at the Tampines Safra location. The first one, 2 years ago, a location pretty much the same. Tampines is all the way to the east of Singapore, so I'm not going to expect a lot of people to be coming to this event. Might be a very slow event, but we shall see, okay? So fingers crossed.
So there is a stand rally, Stoa, Rancho, Marine, Lami. Actually, that's so cool. So I guess these are the prizes for the stand rally. Oh my god. This is from I think it's the more recent Fuji 1.8 meter table. As usual for Doujinfes, they really spoil us with the very long table. I wish every event in Singapore would do 1.8, but most of the time conventions they still stick with the 1.2 meter table, which is a lot smaller. So this is 1.8 and 1.2 is about here. Right. And if you share, then it's even half the space. So this time around, I tried out something like a mini standee that I cut out myself. And this, I actually copied this idea from, inspired by this one of the conventions in one of the booths in Australia, the most recent trip at Animaga. So I saw this and I really liked the idea. So this, they at least can tell that this is a fandom that I have available. So especially useful when you have limited space. So the only way to display is upwards. Koyori, Sakoyo. I have the abundance of space so I can display whatever I want, which I feel that is kind of like empty. I always wanted to change the color for this. I'm most likely going to change it to brown or green for my panel. But other than that, that was for later events. So yeah, this Koyori is the defect. So you can see that she's missing the eyelashes. So you can see there's just the eyelashes here, and then she's missing the eyelash here. Hololive actually addressed this, I think last year, and then they sent another extra brand new one to me. So I now have two Koyori at home. Other than that, yeah, this is my new merchandise. This is the Uma Musume. I'm trying something different. There's magnets here, so you can see that you can attach here. Right, so you can change so I can change. I can take this and then swap it over. So but each step is like this. So it's like a standee, keychain standee, which you can then do it whatever way you want. So I didn't make a lot so I just do it for fun. Reverse 199, no new stuff, but I have quite a few that's in queue. Have not sent it to production yet, but yesterday, Global, they have the second anniversary. What was the name? Nautica. So Nautica is, I have something, a big surprise when it comes to Nautica for my mini standee. I will save it for the next event review. Now it's 10:15, 45 minutes away to the opening of day 1 Doujinfes Tampines. Okay, my back. A lot of space when you're doing solo. Yeah. I brought my own water, but as usual, Doujinfes will supply drinks, refreshment, so we can help ourselves. This is day 1 of Doujinfes, and then here I actually just finished setting up. So this is like a balcony top view. My booth is all the way kind of like white panel in the middle. That's my booth. I'm soloing today. Doujinfes, right? This is in Tampines, and this is the third time they have it in Tampines. Tampines is near my area. It's actually where I stay. So it is a very close proximity venue for me, which is why I'm here again. My first time at Tampines Doujinfes was 2 years ago. That was their very first Doujinfes. That was 2023, now it's 2025. and here I am. Last year I did not participate because I wanted to take a break from Tampines, but this time round I'm back again. They did quite a lot of Heartland events already over the past 2 years, which is a good accomplishment for Doujinfes team. It reminds me, Hololive Regloss, right? They had their debut 2 years ago on the same day as first day of Doujinfes. Really good memories. They also celebrate their 2 years anniversary for Regloss. Not the exact same weekend because Doujinfes Tampines this time round is in the middle of September. Recently they released a new, in celebration of the second anniversary of Regloss, they had this Our Time Yellow. Yesterday Doujinfes, while I was setting up, so day 0 they allow you to set up, they played that song as well, so I appreciate it. You can see here this is Safra Tampines, so they have like a swimming pool complex. This is a badminton hall that are using for the venue. It's exactly the same as the 2 years ago. Last year also I visited, I wasn't tabling, but they had it at the exact same location. Today is day 1, right? So yesterday I set up, I finished up today. There's still an hour away to opening, which is at 11 a.m. Now it's about 10 a.m. So I still have some time to catch up. That's why I'm doing a special vlog segment over here. It's a 2-day event, and there are 2 other events happening in Singapore as well, which is one is called I think it's Otome Fest by Root Production. This is it's a new event. I think it focused on Otome related franchise, games, series, anything to do mostly for the female demographic. It's a new event, but the organizer is not new. They have done Otaked. Previously, I had not tabled at Otaked before, but yeah, it's by Root Production. And another event that's happening on the same day today and tomorrow is Hobbies Fair. Hobbies Fair is an event that I visited last year. I talked about it in another separate vlog. I can't remember. I think it might be another Doujinfes vlog. But I visited it for a while, and so this time around they're doing another second Hobby Fair, right? Otome Fest is in the west. Doujinfes is in the east of Singapore, and Hobbies Fair is in central Singapore, Suntec. So they pretty much cover the entire island, west, east, central, right? So, and I think it's quite ridiculous to this point because there's too many events happening, and not just this week. The past few weekends there has been events back to back. Upcoming next few weeks, another bunch of events happening really every single weekend. And I actually posted an IG story. I used the IG template. I think it's called template, right? And then I posted it, and people shared it a lot. I showed like how many events that are happening concurrently together, back to back, and this is like crazy, right? So in any case, I think there's really a con fatigue lah. For Singapore, it's really small country, and then you have so many conventions. Like customers, everyone is just tired, right? There's too many events happening. Because of that, I'm not sure if Doujinfes this time round will be affected by the overall con fatigue. It's not something new. It has been happening since the past 2 years. More and more events in Singapore has been ramping up, have been appearing. This year especially, and this weekend 3 events happening, right? I have no idea. I just take it easy for this Doujinfes Tampines. Otherwise, 1.8 meter table soloing is a bit too large for me. I enjoyed the space, but I kind of came unprepared for displaying, so it feels a bit empty for this Doujinfes Tampines for my table. But it's okay. I'll just enjoy it. So I would like to aim to have a sales of $600 to $700 and above. If that hit that goal, then I will consider this Doujinfes Tampines experience a success to me. I know sales monetary is not everything to do with how good an event is, but it's the easiest metric to measure because you can at least count money, you can measure that. So I would just take it as the post-con. I will see if I hit 600, 700, I'll be satisfied, right? Not going to set my bar too high. And the reason for the number is because in 2023, my first Doujinfes Tampines the first ever Doujinfes Fest, my sales number was about $500. So anything more than that, I would consider it as an improvement. I want to beat my own record. So yeah, anyway, I'm going back to my table. Everything else, I think day one should be the most people. Day two tend to be slower, as with most events in Singapore. I do have my neighbor. This time around, my two neighbors, left and right, are people I know. Let's enjoy Doujinfes Fest Tampines 2025. Let's go. Yeah, spotted this fabulous promo code here. Yeah, morning. So my neighbor that I was mentioning earlier, on my left side, and yeah, see, amazing artwork. So she's really young, very good, very skillful artist. You know, look at this, the acrylic block. 3D acrylic block is really nice when you look at it. I'm not sure if the camera can do it justice. And the on-site commission, actually that's cool. Maybe I might commission yeah, some fan service. So this is one side is Joy and the other side is NG. So it's still setting up, so I will come back to that later. But otherwise, yeah, let's sit back and relax for Tampines Day 1. What I got, I actually bought this Serimuka salad. Squid salad, this is on top is a coconut kind of pandan flavored, and the rice at the bottom is not the Peranakan style. Nyonya style, they tend to have blue pea, so it's a blue colored. But this is just normal white rice, so it's the Malay style. Right, I bought this to share, and then look what my left side they got for me. The onde with lapom. And so inside is the Gula Melaka syrup. So and my right side here, they got me curry puff. There's also a kueh curry puff, but it's a triangular version of it. So yeah, it's like today's a kueh day. Wearing my apron. So I'm gonna make my rounds later, just to chit chat with the booths around. It's 11:46. I will probably walk around 12 o'clock. As you can see, there isn't really too many visitors. Definitely in the case where the artists or vendors are outnumbered the amount of visiting people here. But it's alright, just enjoy the rest of the video. Sit back and relax. I will talk to you guys later. So now it's 2:42. This is how the crowd looks like. It's not a lot of people. It has been like this since the entire morning until now. I don't think the crowd will actually pick up for the rest of the day, unfortunately. This is how it looks like. Yeah, it's quite slow, but to be expected. I really expected this to happen due to con fatigue. I just realized it's not only just Hobbies Fest at the Suntec, but there is also another event called Hobby Con. So two different events. Yeah, then last week we had a very big event called Arcade. Very, very large event, very popular. And then next week we have Public Garden as well and Art Riot. So I can understand people may choose to pick to skip out on this weekend because they need a break. It's really con fatigue. I have not break even yet, but soon, I hope. Oh yeah, this time we are playing a different game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. Since I'm
I just remembered, yeah. That's how, yeah. Okay, I mean, look at this. It's like, it's really, really nice, really nice.
Like a con vlog.
Yeah, my con vlog. So,
Like someone like YouTube recommended. And then I saw your like Doujinfes video from like last year, June. It's like, oh wait, that's me. Yeah, then I remember you approached my table, and then like back then, oh shit, okay, and then like back then, like my setup was like really rabak. Actually, like if you can see here, like it's just like my old like backing, and then I just mixed up my new one over it.
Actually, that's
It's like reduce, reuse, recycle.
Yeah.
it was-
especially I like the way this all this like this they do a zigzag one. It's very cool. I think it's only can really be done with a 1.8 meter table. Yeah, so if it's 1.2, then it's a bit more difficult to get a good zigzag.
Right. I mean, like at least since you have the table length, you might as well capitalize on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'll go walk around. Oh, hello, Marcus. Hello. Yeah, I'm walking around now. You want to walk around also? Yeah, take a look. Yeah, come accompany me. Okay, walk around. I feel this time around quite bad.
I think Khatib was still a bit better.
Khatib was better. That's why.
Yeah.
They,
Were you there?
I was there, ma. Then you remember I do the
Yeah, I remember now. Yeah. So,
few of my fair hobbies fair. It's very good.
it's very good, right?
It's very good.
I have a friend who went to Otome Fest as well. He told me that it was also very good. I think it's also based on experience as well. But at the very least, I think what is good for there is that there was guest
player.
cosplayers, and also there were team event. So at the very least, there was something different from other events as well.
Yeah. So that's why the experience might be quite different. If you like
Mm.
the automate stuff, then maybe
It's still a very niche event lah.
it's good because
It's good.
it's different than other events.
Correct. And then actually, I think me and I also suggest to one of my friends, who are also like fan of the organizer.
Yeah.
I also told them that it's better to do more team events, considering how many events there is in Singapore. I think like just this month itself, how many events were there every
Yeah,
week
I
already?
agree. Every weekend, like you know, last week was arcade.
Yeah.
This week two events. The
Public Garden and Art Riot.
yeah. So if people like customers, they don't want to take a break as well. They
The money to take a break.
They-
Yeah, want to take a break.
need a break. Everything.
Yeah.
Then so. And not only this next weekend, other weekends also. Because subsequently every weekend got this event.
Yeah, I mean, if they're working, their money comes in every month. So if every month they'll probably choose like one to two events at most to go for also. Yeah, that's based on my own experience. Like, yeah.
So you have been also trying to cut down on local events or
Yeah.
makes sense because I myself been to a few overseas this year. So the experience is better there.
Better there?
Yeah, better there.
I think saturation of events is one thing, but the number of people there is in Singapore is another issue as well.
Yeah.
We just don't have enough like population to sustain the local market.
That's the main important point because even international artists will come to Singapore and they realize
I think many of them is don't really want to come anymore, except for the bigger
they-
events. It's probably worse than some of their local events as well, which is kind of a sad thing, right?
Yes.
Considering that like like example, if you come from other Asia countries, right,
Yeah.
their currency is actually lower than
but then everything's expensive, so they travel here to stay here also.
yes, because they pay
Yeah.
Singapore price, ma. Yeah, so that's another issue.
Yeah, then this is a dinner table here.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I saw that on
Real fast, right? Yeah, I remember.
So Vinny, how's the experience? This
Actually, legit quite slow. But I'm not surprised it's not that so little cosplay.
It is.
You know the Automate Fest.
unfortunately it is slow.
Yeah, because last time round the last Doujinfes Fest was when was it Kallang, right? Then before that was the last year already, right? And then last year the economy and this year is different also.
correct.
So everything changes already.
Yeah.
But I feel like at least between the three of them, right, was actually well disposed of. At least it's not like three events that has the same audience. One is a one-day event. Yeah.
I feel that it's more beneficial if it was in the same location. So that's
Yes, similar location. Because like now it's like Automate Fest, right, in Jurong. And then if they want to come to like Doujinfes Fest, it's like
Actually, it's true that.
it's very hard.
So let's say that they had to choose between Automate Fest or Doujinfes Fest.
Yeah, correct.
And that's how they chose Doujinfes Fest. They chose to go to what? Then after that, next day they say they going to what?
Yeah, it's usually the case. I mean nowadays there's so many events like even if they miss one, you just say I'm just gonna go next week. Still do think that because of the clashing events that there is in like this weekend, it's really just sad that a lot of people have to choose like whether to go for Automate Fest, Hobby Fest, or like this event. So to me, I think it's really just bad luck. So what do you think? Considering that you've been building for so long already and going for so many events.
I think definitely will affect just that it is bad luck, but it's something that we cannot control.
It's something that you hard to control, yeah.
I applied for the Fest. I did not know about this other event is happening.
Correct.
So when it's announced, then every time I will talk to the organizer or Doujinfes Fest, then he will share that they didn't expect like the next Doujinfes Fest, which is
Yes.
at,
Khatib, right?
Khatib, they are clashing with Asobi.
Asobi. Yeah, but I do think that the issue with all these clashing events, right, there's really no much choice anymore.
Yeah.
Because like it's either this weekend or the next weekend.
Yeah.
So like you just have to choose your own battle. And if really a popular event really clash with like a more smaller event, like a more indie kind, I think there's just a really bad luck. Unless you can choose to like change to another date, otherwise you just have to grow with it and then just hope that your marketing and every other stuff is able to make up for it.
Because interestingly, there was an incident where last year Doujinfes Fest actually swapped the date.
Yeah, for the AFA CSF, right?
Right, so they didn't clash, then they decided that they want to shift the date for Bedok Reservoir one. So it did happen before, but obviously we can't expect organizers to keep doing this, right? When you book the location already, then
Yeah, it's very hard for them to do that, correct.
they did it one time, it was good, but here right now in Singapore case, you change weekend, there's still another event that's going to
There is still gonna event.
yeah, unfortunately.
Today is the day right after Doujinfes Fest. Tampines has ended. If I sound strange, it's because I caught a cold. Normally I would wear a mask for event. That's why you will see me wearing that. But this time around, I thought, maybe I wouldn't get a cold. But yeah, bad luck. Woke up. Actually, I didn't even wake up before. Night before, I really felt I had the shivers and was a bit feverish. So yeah, now it's escalated to a sore throat. But I still have to go to work. In fact, the first 2 stops, all these are my books. There are 30 books, including inside this cabin luggage. And 20 copies will go to Chinatown Visitor Centre, which is the tourist center hub for Chinatown, Singapore. And 10 copies will go to this book cafe called the Book Bar, right? Book Bar, I have already set 10 copies before, but they have sold out. So I'm there to replenish, which is a good thing. Now, then after that, I will go to the office because I have a side gig. Recently, I took up another job. It's always good to have additional income, right? I'm doing that, some educational stuff. I will not disclose as of now. Maybe next time. So the situation is, the consignment-wise is usually in Singapore is 40% to maybe even 50%. So if it's sold, I only take back 60% or 50% depending on the middle person. So the one that's handling the upfront sales. That's why generally you need to price your books at a point where you are still able to profit, taking into account 50% consignment fee. I really set my books at a price point where even if I get back 50%, it will still be somewhat profitable for me. Now, the general point is to get books out there to reach a different crowd base. So, like Chinatown, they have a lot of tourists, which they may not ever get a chance to buy my book if I don't sell it to stores like that directly. And Book Bar, they have another different crowd also. So, it's still quite beneficial if you sell them at places like that. They may take a fee, but the main objective is to sell books, to reach as many people as possible. So that's why I'm doing this, but I have to do it in person. I have to do the delivery myself. So this is how an independent bookseller normally operate in Singapore. It's in the morning, make 2 stops, then just nice after lunch I will go to the office and work all the way to the end of the day. Come back, the plan is to do a few acrylic keychains because Vogue Race have a sale right now. I'm not promoting Vogue Race. They're not paying me to promote, but I'm just saying, which means that I can't take a break until maybe Wednesday. I have to just gambare, I have to pull through despite feeling unwell. No choice. That is the, again, independent bookseller artist life. But yeah, I would save my throat from further pain. Let the future Clement do the post-event talk.
Okay, yay! Come. Have a seat. Yeah. Hello everyone. I'm Wei Malayan. You can also call me Clement T. Yes, it has been a while, right? It has been a while since my last vlog. When was it? It was Artsobi. I made a vlog for Artsobi. That was early in January. So this vlog that you watched, Doujinfes Fest Tampines, how was it? I hope you enjoyed the segment. That happened last year. So
September last year. Now, as I'm recording this, post-event is like really post. Right now it's in July, so it's almost an entire year after Doujinfes Tampines, where we last left off, and then it has been about 6 months since my last vlog uploaded. Yeah, so definitely been a while. Oh yeah, don't mind the mess. I was doing my stickers, just packing them, because this is right after an event that I have done, which is called Alzoa Market. I'm not gonna go in depth because that is for another vlog. I hope, you know, there's quite a few of backlog for when it comes to the vlogs. I will try my best to get the next few videos up in August next month, but no promises because it has been really busy juggling my the day job, and then I have upcoming, there's a couple of events that are coming out. I will talk about it later. So the stickers that I have been making over the past few years, I have made some changes. You can see here there's the gold foil here. This is my latest version for the whole life stickers that I have been keeping as a staple product for my boothing days, right? And stickers, generally nowadays, I don't really do a lot of anything that is paper related, except for this. So this is, like I mentioned, is something that is hold very close to me. By the way, this is manufactured, made with this company called Wool Quill. I hope I pronounced it correctly. They don't sponsor me, but if you like the quality, I have also heard a lot of good feedback from the people who buy it from me. They really like the look. It feels very polished, very refined. So if you want to make something that's similar to this type of quality, this type of printing, then you can go ahead and look into Wool Quill. So they do acrylic, as the name suggests, but they also do things like this, stickers. So nowadays, most of the time, I am very comfortable with working with acrylic products. So like even things that are generally like a print, I have changed it to an acrylic. So this is plastic. Right, so most of my products nowadays is acrylic, and I think this is where my forte is, because I realized that for paper products, my sales doesn't really move that well. When you booth long enough, you will find what works for you, what works for your customer base, and what don't. So then it's more of a very experimental thing that you continue to do R&D, research and development, right? And I know I want to talk about this because I have a lot of viewers who are just starting out. They are interested to get into the boothing scene, the artist alley, and I always love to share about all these little things that goes behind the scene. Maybe one day I might compile all those knowledge into an extra standalone episode, but for now you will find this, I will just randomly mention about all these tips and tricks between different vlogs, so you can continue to watch my vlogs, so that you can get random pointers. Where are my manners? Right, I should be offering you a drink. So this one? Oh, no? Okay, then how about yeah, this one, yeah. Don't be shy, right? Don't be shy. I will also help myself. Yeah, we can enjoy drinks, and then yeah, you can see here in the background, there's Koyori. So this is the one that I had it featured, kind of like showcased in my Doujinfes Tampines table. I mentioned I had two, right? So this is the other one that one of them had a defect, the other one is still sealed. This is the replacement that the Hololive store, they sent it over. And see whether you actually watch the video. I mentioned what is the difference between these two. Can you see it? Do you pay attention? Yeah, right? So those are the Koyori that I have, two of it. But for now, you know, this is a Doujinfes Tampines episode. Doujinfes Tampines, right? That time, 2025, it was the third year anniversary, considered third year anniversary. Then it was the third Tampines Doujinfes as well. I only attended two. It was the first one, 2023, and the second one, 2024, I did not participate. Last year, 2025, was the third rendition of the Safra Tampines for Doujinfes. And unfortunately, right after the Doujinfes Tampines, the next one that happened, Khatib, I couldn't attend because it clashes with the another event, Art Sobi. So Art Sobi, the vlog you have watched, hopefully that was my previous vlog that was uploaded. Khatib and Art Sobi, they had it together on the same weekend. So I couldn't push in, split into two. So I had to attend Art Sobi instead of the Khatib. Right, but Khatib 2024 I did attend, so it's the same venue. If you are curious how it looks like, how the experience was, you can go back to my older videos to watch that Khatib version. And the unfortunate part is that the Safra Khatib, not Safra, it's the NS team, home team, right? Home team NS. Khatib was their final Doujinfes event. So since then, 2025, now 2026, there has been no more new Doujinfes events. They might be coming back, I have no confirmation whatsoever. But if you go to their page, they say that they might return someday. I do not know when. However, right, they have sister events, kind of like sister. They not really related from the same team, but the vibes are very similar. You might see some familiar faces in the event team, so you might see some overlaps. One of it is Fandom Art Fiesta. I will put the links down in the description box. That is, they do not Heartland vlogs, not Heartland events. Is that for Doujinfes, you know, right? Their whole kind of style is to do venues at Heartland. So what is Heartland if you are not a Singaporean? It means that it's residential areas closer to the heart of Singapore, which is where the locals reside at. So things like Tampines, Khatib, Bedok Reservoir, right? So there are a couple of events, venues that they have already done. Kallang is another one. So Fandom Art Fiesta, I understand, is they focus more on the town area. Orchard Taste was one of it. They went back to Kallang Leisure Park as well. So they are still active. So if you want similar vibes, FAF, Fandom Art Fiesta, would be a good option for that, right? And then there is another event. Let me see if I can bring it up on screen. This is you can see on screen here. They put here, application open. So right now, as of recording, there's this new event. It's called the ACG Plus Fiesta, right? So you can take a look. They have just opened application for the location Nee Soon Central. So it's more of a residential area again. I would have liked to join, but then again, this is can't, because I will be at way up north, even further than Nee Soon. It's out of Singapore. I will be at Kuala Lumpur for the Anime Festival Plus. So if any Malaysians that are watching this, then yeah, I will be there in September. So can't be two places at once. But this event, ACG Fest, right, I think is also very similar to Doujinfes. You can give it a try if you are still happen to be watching this and the application is still open. Might want to look into it, especially if you stay in Nee Soon. Of course, I think this is where I can talk about Doujinfes together with this upcoming new event or Heartland events in general. The scene right now hasn't really changed the past year. So there was this whole topic that we continue to bring up, me and like the guest appearance, Marcus, right? We talk about things like confetti, and the whole year after that is still very packed, very saturated with events. Every weekend there's something. Now, worse is where right now, because of the trading card scene has blown up in Singapore. So there is a lot of trading card events. This coming weekend, there are, I think, 5 trading card events in just a single weekend. How many do you even need? And Singapore is really this small. And it applies to the art scene as well, the artist alley. There is, every weekend there's something going on. We think that, the bubble would have burst by then. Sooner or later, you will start to see a decline in events. But it's still going strong for some reason. And however, the audience, the the customer base isn't actually growing. So yes, you can have a lot of events happening, a lot of artists joining the scene, but the people who are consuming it is not actually increasing. So this creates a problem where your sales may not look as good as the previous years, especially if you appear in many events. They start to become too familiar with you, the customers, right? Then they would have this mindset where they would know that because you are so readily accessible, they can just always find you at the next event, which is just round the corner, right? So there's this problem where we would just term it as con fatigue. Hasn't changed. Doujinfes Fest Tampines was just part of the whole calendar issue where you have clashes of events. There are events where I have to give it a miss because same day, and you ask why the event organizers don't do another event on another day. It's because the calendar is so packed. Even if you choose another weekend, there's going to be conflicting with another event that's out there already. So this is how densely packed everything is with the Singapore event calendar. But okay, before I go too out of the point, so we talk about the sales, so let's get this over with. Is that I mentioned in the vlog that I had a goal. I want to surpass my 2023 Doujinfes Fest Tampines sales record, and the sales record back then 2023 was 509. This is gross sales. A lot of people would ask me whether this is profit. No, this is just the overall sales combined. I'm very happy to say the Doujinfes Fest Tampines 2025, my sales went to the drum roll, $841. Yeah! So it's more than $300 increase. 2 years later, $300 increase is not a big deal. Again, I always want to remind, especially to my younger viewers out there who are trying to make this a business, money is not everything that makes an event successful. Right? Of course, if you are doing this a full-time job, then obviously the sales numbers will matter. It's actually the number one factor, right? But for me, this is not my full-time job. At the same time, it's not something that I treat it lightly. So I do take it very seriously. So numbers-wise, I am satisfied. Which brings me back to Doujinfes Fest as an event is that is a heartland event. So the type of audience that would come to this event, as you can see in my vlog, isn't many. Yes, Suntec, I hate Suntec, I'm just going to put it out there, is that Suntec Hall is very accessible. So everyone knows Suntec in Singapore. They will go, they'll flock to that event halls. But over this past years, even if Suntec has a lot of the footfall, the numbers to show, most of them are just there to window shop, to just have to enjoy, just have a fun time, right? Whereas I would say that while the smaller events, be it Doujinfes Fest or any other events out there that are in weird, unusual, obscure locations, they may have a lot less visible traffic, but their sales is not exactly correlated to that. And this is the proof, right? That I consider this Doujinfes Fest Tampines as my sales for that is actually higher than many of my Suntec 2-day sales as well. So I would say that this can give it a shot, but only if you do have that kind of a target audience where it matches the local scene, the more residential crowd, right? And because as you know, Kueh Malaya, right, I do sell kueh related stuff, so it's a very local of a taste. And my kueh stuff actually did quite well for that particular event, Doujinfes Fest Tampines. Makes sense, again, because it's close to the residents' taste. Hololive has constituted to the biggest amount of sales for Doujinfes Fest Tampines. I was lucky because that event particularly had a cuisine that is a Hololive. They had a stamp rally that the prices were mostly HoloLive. There were some Pokemon cards, but mostly HoloLive. And because of that, right, I get a huge a boost in sales for anything HoloLive related, since it matches. On the other hand, if you don't do HoloLive products, the disadvantage is then you cannot tap into that advantage of the stamp rally because it's a mismatch. And this is what happened to many of my friends out there who were at Safra Tampines. They did not have as good as sales compared to someone who, like me, who was selling HoloLive fan merch. And it's not so much of the fault of Doujinfes fans, but rather it's just luck, luck of the draw. And because in other events like I remember Doujinfes Khatib 2024, the one that I attended, they had more of a Hoyo-verse stamp rally cuisine. Those artists who did fan merch that was related to that franchise. So I would say that again, Doujinfes, they tried their best to rotate the price pool for each stamp rally, and it's already a huge incentive to have an event organizer do things out of their pocket, to make the event much more enticing for people to come and visit and actually purchase something. So I won't fault them for that. Instead, I actually will want to praise them for their effort, because nowadays I attended so many events, not a lot of events do this type of initiative. I would say that if event organizers, they were able to release their price pool ahead of time, I think preferably before artists apply, then that would be the most ideal. So the artists can then know ahead of time what is the price pool involved, what kind of stamp rally it is. Like for example, Atsubi, we know that they have a stamp rally. It's all their original types of goods based on their mascots. So we have a good idea of what to expect. Maybe it's asking too much, but I would say that to be able to propose the price pool, at least a rough idea ahead of time, would be really beneficial for the artists who are trying to apply. Yeah, this is pretty much what happened for me, my experience for Doujinfes Tampines. There wasn't a lot of things that happened during the event. You will notice that usually I will cover 2 days. It was a 2-day event. Day 2 especially was extremely slow. I'll just be honest, right? To the point that I had no footage for day 2. I didn't show anything. It was really quite anticlimactic. Their stage performances, everything, but they were outside. So the venue, the badminton court, the artist alley, then you have to step up, go all the way out to the next connected building, and then you can get to see their stage. This type of arrangement is, unfortunately, the physical limitation of the venue. So a table, 1.8 meter table, $250, not expensive, right? Especially when compared to other events out there. For example, Azubi is $600 for a table. At Suntec, there's a really huge difference. So for Doujinfes, they have tried their best to keep the price affordable for most artists. So which is why, if you ask me, events like Doujinfes, be it Fandom Art Fiesta or the upcoming ACG Plus Fiesta, right? What would be my recommendation? I would say that it's good to give it a shot, because the table fee is not expensive. And if you still think that it's a bit steep for you, then I always strongly recommend you to find a trustworthy friend who is interested to booth as well. Then you can come together, share that table, because especially when the table in question is 1.8 meters, so it's a lot of space for you to work, to display your things, and at the same time you have at least somebody to, if things don't go well, you can trauma bond together, like, hey, if sales sucks, but I have you with me, don't compare. You can do better, or you might do very bad as well. It's not consistent. Even for me, I go to different events, my sales number tend to be very, in a good way, consistent. When I ask my other friends, they really have the highs and the lows. The gap, the disparity is very big when it comes to different events. For me, I think it works well because I have you guys, right? I make all this content, and this plays a part in my marketing. Even though I don't intend it to be as a brand, as a marketing, as an awareness kind of thing, actually does help with you guys being familiar with what I sell, what I present myself as an artist, as a person. And I think it's very important because with the advent of AI, if you hide yourself behind just your artwork, you don't come out and present yourself as a person, then it's very easy for the audience to skim you through and mix you together with every other professional work out there, or worse, AI. I think especially if you are seriously interested in tabling, in boothing, you have to be out there in person. You need to present yourself. In just being authentic, this is called the human touch. Touch, right? Somehow it works, and I would say that it's really because of all these vlogs that I've been doing that people are willing to come to me and show their support, and I'm always very thankful for that, especially even for this event. Right? I don't have much else to say. I think it's one of those things very, very hard to measure, because sales, the numbers better than average, but the visitor count is a huge difference. So a lot of my friends in Doujinfes Tampines, they didn't do well. It was very, very slow for them. So for me, just somehow it works out. But it's hard to tell why it works out, besides because of you guys coming here to support me in my events. That's the only thing, the only difference I feel that I can say it contribute to a huge factor. But otherwise, Doujinfes events, even though they have stopped organizing events as of 2026, they have done a really wonderful job to grow the overall Singapore boothing scene as a whole. Right? One of the big things that they introduced, the giving out free water. So I won't say that they were the first one to do it, but because they do it so consistently, artists started to notice. It's just water, right? But then having event organizer always putting aside free flow for you to take was something that we didn't knew that it was so important to have at events. And then other events start to do the same as well. So nowadays, almost every event that I go to, there's always water set aside. So I think Doujinfes actually kind of like push that. They may not be the one who started it first, but it was so consistent that other event organizers decided to do the same as well, because it is a very good thing to have. Then I'm sure they also did other things that becomes kind of a norm. I think stamp rallies also, but as artists, we tend to take things for granted. Like we're just humans. That said, I think closing word is that I am very, very thankful for Doujinfes team that they have, over the last 3 years, from 2023 to 2025, they have done all those events, especially because it's outside Suntec. Screw you, Suntec. Yeah, I really appreciate what they have done, and I hope they will come back. But if they don't, I can understand. There's also similar events that are happening. So if you miss Doujinfes, give them the other events a shot. But of course, keep your expectations not too high, because ultimately it's not most of the time the event's fault, but rather it's the current climate there's really just too many events. The economy is on a decline, so sales number can't really expect so much. Spending powers has been decreasing overall. That's about it. I feel that I'm missing out something, but I can always talk about it in my next vlog whenever it happens. I really, really wish that I can do this on a consistent upload schedule, but editing really takes up a lot of time. I think that's all. Doujinfes Tampines, Doujinfes in general. Thank you once again. It has been a good time. Catch you guys in my next vlog. I think my next vlog will be a Domini episode. I think it's about time. But other than that, yeah. Konkoyo. Yeah. Okay. Bye bye. Thank you. Yeah. Hey, you never finish your drink. You never even drink. Okay. Yeah. Bye bye.